Some cool stuff today, so shout out to Adidas, sponsor of the Huskers. This is a little deja vu. We were here, we on that trip? Yeah. So Lauren and I have been here before, and Lindsay Peterson, so, but excited to be here, and so far Columbus has done an amazing job. One of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I don't know if Janine back here had anything to do with it, but when we got to the hotel, they played a video of all the girls' parents and families giving pump-up encouragement messages on this video. It was very creative and cool, and got this trip day off to a great start. So thank you for that, and all the hospitality that we've seen so far. And I remember in 16, Columbus, this place knows how to run Final Fours and big events, and I think they do a lot of other championships and things as well. So we're excited to be here, and Pitt's a really good team, and we're going to have a great challenge in front of us.
Okay, we'll open up for questions. Again, please identify yourself when asking a question. Here we go, front left.
Lincoln O'Neill, Omaha will help. Lauren, how does it feel to be back? And does it feel, what has the progression been like since the last time you were here? And has it sunk in the reality that this is it? This is the final weekend of your Nebraska career?
Yeah, I think this is like the third time that I felt that way, but this is actually the last one. I'm so grateful to be here and grateful to be surrounded with the people that are here with us, and this team is on to something special. There's just like a different feel, a different energy with this team, and definitely excited to see what we can do and happy to be back.
What was it like watching that video with your teammates, the message that your family conveyed to you?
I'm not the person to ask because my parents just had my dogs and Husker gear just sitting there, but it was really sweet. I know it brought a lot of the girls to tears, and it is nice to see that. Like, obviously emotions and everything runs high here, and to have that, just like a little piece of home there waiting for us, was really sweet and definitely super special. I haven't had that in any of the previous Final Fours, so really a nice touch.
Back left.
Matt Foster with KUTV Omaha. Lauren, you've obviously played in a Final Four before. This is Pitt's first. What do you remember about your first trip to the Final Four, and is it an advantage kind of having this experience of knowing what it's like once those bright lights turn on?
Yeah, I think experience is always helpful. I think that, but when it comes time to the game, it's just going to be the team that's better prepared and wants it more and plays harder, and hopefully that'll be us. And but I don't think that has necessarily that great of an impact as an advantage as people think. It's just whichever team wants it more that day.
Front right.
Brent Wagner from the Lincoln Journal-Star. John, you get one more week with Lauren, and then she's gone. When she's done, what will be Lauren Stivrins' legacy with Nebraska Volleyball, and how will you remember her?
I think I got asked this in the ESPN interviews, and what my answer was, I could say all the normal things, you know. She started off as a freshman. She was a brat. I almost kicked her off the team. She's matured. She's been a great leader, captain, all those things. Didn't want to be captain this year, but her team voted her unanimous to be a captain. But to me, her legacy will be the introductions that she received when she wasn't playing this year, and then finally when she was introduced as a starter. The applause that she received from our fans is one of probably the loudest times I've ever heard Devaney. And I think that's her legacy right there. Her connection with our fans, our fan base, the Husker Nation, the respect they have for her on who she is and what she's accomplished and what a great competitor she is. You know, in Nebraska, they love players that work hard and compete hard, win or lose. That's what they take the most pride in, and I think that's Lauren's legacy.
Front right.
Lee Feinswag from volleyballmag.com. Maddie, what do you make out of Pitt?
Sorry?
What do you make out of Pitt?
They're obviously going to be a great challenge for us, and we're really excited to play against them. We know that they have a fast offense, and they have a lot of weapons that we're going to have to pay attention to, but we're just excited for the challenge.
Lauren, you might give me a little more technical on that or more specific, because they're a different kind of team than you've played.
Yeah, but I think she hit on all of the things that we need to focus on. We know that they're going to run a fast offense. We know that they run a 6-2, and they've got great hitters everywhere. But when it comes down to the game time, we just need to focus on ourselves and play Husker volleyball, because that's ultimately what's going to take us to the next game.
Back left.
John, Lexi was named a first-team All-American today, becoming just the second freshman at Nebraska to be named first-team All-American. What has been her impact this season, and did you expect her to have that type of impact in her first year?
Do you know who the first freshman All-American was? Who? Yeah, Pavin. So it's a pretty big company that Lexi went in. Again, I got to give Kayla Banworth credit. In 9th grade, she told me Lexi was going to be really good, and I like, no way. And she made me offer her a scholarship in camp as a 9th grader. So I guess one libero can really see what's great in another libero. To have her be first team All-American is a major accomplishment. That I think she'd be here, no, but I know she's really good, and we saw that from day one that she arrived on campus. Like, she's got something special, and she's won a lot of big awards up to this point, and this is probably one of the biggest ones, you know, being so young and becoming a first team. So I also think that just shows you the amount of respect that she has, because she was also voted Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten, which might be as big as accomplishment as a first team All-American, because our conference was so good and there's so many great players. But I also think that's also a reflection of we're a great defensive team. I think we're considered one of the best defensive teams in the country. We led almost every statistical category in the Big Ten this year. And I think this is a team award that she's recognized as part of that. But this is a reflection of the defense that we play.
Okay. Middle left here.
With Lexi, kind of, I mean, she had a little barrel job from day one. How much did she impact the identity of that team? I know you always say serve and pass is one of the tenets of Nebraska volleyball, but how much did she kind of elevate that to an elite level to get you to be able to be playing here?
Yeah, I think her play is contagious, and her confidence and how she plays. I also think Kenzie Knuckles' moving position has also really had a major impact on our mindset. And then Keonile has, so those three really set the tone for how we play defense and what our back row can do. And then, you know, I think our, you know, stemming from how hard we work on blocking, you know, it's all works together. It's, you know, it's not just, oh, you're a great defensive player. You have to have a great block in front of you or it doesn't matter. So we take a lot of pride in that, but, you know, it's contagious. Just like when Lauren's blocking balls, it's contagious. And you know, and you guys, I keep asking, you know, where's Lauren at? How's she improved? I mean, I think Lauren's blocking better than she ever has in her whole life in career at Nebraska. I mean, blocking is a tough skill to get better at, and so I think it all works together. And you know, Lexi's part of the heartbeat of our mindset and attitude that we have.
Maddie, what is it like playing? You play in the back row with those three with Lexi, Kenzie, and kind of like, what is it like for you to be back there, and is it contagious? Do you feed off of what they're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a certain level of trust that we talk about a lot that is required of defense in our defensive schemes and in serve receive, and I think playing next to them, we have a nonverbal communication as well as verbal communication, that we know what the other person is going to do, and that allows us to all do our jobs well. And so I think that level of trust is really important, and like you said, it's very contagious between the four of us.
Do you have a nickname for those three, or is there a group nickname for them? What do y'all call them?
We called them three the midgets.
How do they like that?
They love it.
We as coaches don't use that terminology. We call them the Legion of Boom. The Legion of Boom.
That right?
Channel 10, 11 in Lincoln. Maddie, you're in a Final Four field that has the 1 seed, the 2 seed, and then, or excuse me, the 1, 3, 4, a combined 90 wins out of those other teams. You guys, how do you balance that belief that you can win a national championship but know that you're up against a pretty stacked field?
Yeah, I think this team has had a really the beginning of season, regardless wins and losses in the the belief in this that we have in each other, and so I think we're just going to carry that joy and belief through these next matches.
Jacob Myers, the Columbus Dispatch. John, different topic, but I just wanted to ask about Danny and your impressions of her and her Louisville program that she's built, and is it safe to assume if you're not playing her in the final and they get there that you'll be rooting for her?
Well, we'll always root for her when we're playing them, but I'm very proud of Danny. I'm not surprised what she's done. She's done an amazing job. She's done it really quickly, which is, I mean, I'm sure she's going to have a good shot at being Coach of the Year, but to go undefeated to this point is really, really hard. And you could say, oh, they played in the ACC. Well, we know how tough the ACC is this year, which makes it even more. And then she came in and they kicked our butt in Devaney. So she's done a great job, and you know, she's a small-town Nebraska kid who I made her switch positions her senior year, and she set for a national championship. And the next year, I made her a libero. She, you know, weathered that storm. And I hired her back as I tell all of our players that want to coach, you got to go away somewhere else and see what the rest of the world's like, because it's not every place is like Nebraska. So she went away and coached, I think, at Tennessee and Louisville. I hired her back. We won a national championship in 15, and then you know, she got hired at Louisville. I remember Tom Jurich, the AD, called me and said, "Hey, we want to hire Danny." I said, "Great, she's ready to go." That was it. It was a done deal. Like 5 minutes, she was hired, and she's done an amazing job. I mean, but she's a heck of a recruiter. She's a great judge of talent. And again, she's played libero, she's played setter, and she's been in some really good programs.
Okay, here in front.
John, just to stick with Danny for a second, because I asked her because we don't know the answer, and maybe you do. Has anyone ever won national championships as a player, an assistant coach, and a head coach?
Oh, God.
In your memory.
I don't know. You got to sport SID people. I wouldn't remember that. That's a great question. I want to, you know, it's a really good question. That's a heck of a trivia question.
So, question for you. Along this season, as it's progressed, any things that have surprised you, positive or negative, about your team?
Anything that surprised me? No, I think probably the biggest surprise is I don't think I did a very good job coaching in the non-conference and managing how we were going to come up with a lineup and waiting for Lauren to come back. And what probably surprised me is how well they handled that and stuck with it, and then believed in what we were doing. And we started off the Big Ten 10-0, and this is by far the toughest Big Ten conference. But I've seen this team grow and get better every week that we've gone on. We expect that at Nebraska, but this team's really, really embraced it, and they've trained. You know, I said this earlier. They come into practice every day, and we have a thing. It's 13-13 today. They come in and train like it's 13-13 in the fifth every day, and they've done it the entire year. So, not that that's a surprise, but it's more stuck with it, and they've all found their roles and embraced it and stuck with it. So it's not a surprise, but it's they could have gone the other way, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
One more, if I may. So you are a master at the challenge and always have been, but this year you've had to do it two different ways. Your thoughts about what you got to use during the regular season as opposed to what you've got now, and would you like to have seen them use what you used during the regular season in the postseason?
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, the use one, win it, get it back.
Oh, challenges. Oh, okay, I think you're talking about challenges. I'm still on my bad job of coaching. The
Different kind of
challenges.
challenges.
Oh, no, I'm in favor of the experimental review too, and what we did in the Big Ten. I thought it was great because you really got to think about a challenge, and then of course, if you're confident, you'll get it back. Whereas, I mean, there's been matches in the past. I've gone through 3 challenges in the first 2 games, and then you're done. So, I like the idea of keeping a challenge if you win it. And then I think it just, I don't know, it feels more fair or something.
Should it have been carried over?
Heck yeah. But it took me 20 years to get Terraflex out here, so complaining about that. Now if we can get rid of sport courts in the regionals, that'll be really, really special.
Okay, we'll go back right and then middle right.
Lauren, how do you describe the amount of momentum you have after beating Texas on the road last weekend?
Yeah, I think that was a huge confidence booster for our team. I've talked about this previously, how one of our team's biggest struggles is not that we weren't talented enough. Our talent was here, but our confidence was here. And a few big wins in, and it's slowly starting to align. And once they do, like, we're going to be pretty much unstoppable. And I think that game kind of leveled us out, and I think we're ready for this next challenge. I think that momentum has kind of worn off at this point, but because like it doesn't matter. It's a brand new team, and it's a whole different ball game now that we're here. But we're definitely ready for that challenge.
John, when you guys beat Texas last week, it appeared that when the players were celebrating, the cameras caught Lexi's son saying to Madi Kubik, like, "I'm really proud of you," or something to that extent. Just how has Lexi's son handled this season, and what do you think that moment maybe says about this team and this culture?
Well, like I said, they've embraced their roles. We have a thing called we over me, and it's part of our culture. And you know, whether they're starters, non-starters, whatever, this team has really, really embraced that. And I think that is probably a pretty dramatic example because Lexi has played in the past and has played this year, and they're all in it for each other. And it's probably one of the reasons we're here. I mean, you've got to have that to get to this point. You can't be a fake team and get here. And especially the route we had to go through, which I think is probably, in all my years of coaching, on paper was the most difficult path to get here. Anyway, I just think it's for real for us, and that was a pretty dramatic example that the cameras caught.
John, what do you see as 2 or 3 of the biggest strengths of Pitt's team this year?
They have 6 hitters that can kill the ball. They run, of course, they run a 6-2. They're very well coached. They serve well. They pass well, and you know, they've been in some wars. So this is, you know, it's Final Four. You're going to play great teams here, and you know, so it'll be a really great challenge for us. But very impressed with Pitt, and again, that team's been building. They got a lot of older players, so they've been building this for a while. They were right on the verge of making the Final Four in the spring. I think they lost to Washington. Is that right? Yeah.
Okay, middle left.
Maddie, you were named an All-American today. What does that mean to you, and kind of the accomplishment that comes with that award?
Yeah, we always talk about how the awards that we receive on our team are team awards, and as Coach was alluding to as well with Lexi, just that her award is a reflection of our defense and what we train in our gym, and I think it's really exciting, and yeah, it's just awesome.
Lauren, will ask you, I mean, Kayla got her work recognized too. I mean, what does that mean to you as a fellow middle blocker to see her, you're talking about team awards, to see her get that recognition and kind of the work that she's put in to be where she is today?
Yeah, I think it's amazing, and Maddie touched on it too, but this team is just so talented no matter what position you are, and but definitely to see Kayla get that award, it was something so special, and it made me so happy. And I know how hard she's worked. I've worked with her side by side every single day, and the player that Kayla came into Nebraska as and the player that she is today are 2 completely different people and different styles, different techniques, different everything. And so to see all of her hard work pay off, everyone is so pumped for her, and I definitely am, and I'm her biggest cheerleader. We all love whenever she gets her big kills and stuff like that. It's definitely a momentum swing for our team, so definitely so excited for her.
John, where does the Legion of Boom nickname come from? What's the background behind that?
Oh, that's a Tyler and Jalen call him the Legion of Boom, so you have to ask him. But in regards to Kayla, we're just going to keep telling her that, hey, you're too small. Nobody thinks you're any good, because that's what motivates her, and because she is an undersized middle. But she certainly makes up for it. It's pretty cool to see.
Okay, back left.
John, this team has led the NCAA tournament with aces. How important is serving when you get to this point in the season? Can that kind of be the make or break in a close set?
Every day when we do serving, I tell them this is the most important drill of the day, and because serve can really. So, for example, they've got great hitters. Texas has great hitters. Wisconsin has great hitters. Everybody's got great hitters. One way you can neutralize them is serve tough and get them out of system. So that's where you start with that. And then it gives us a chance to slow them down and improves our odds of scoring a point the more pressure we can put on them serving. So it's huge. And you can't go just by aces. You got to go by how much you're getting them out of system.
Back right.
John, this is your 10th Final Four. Have you learned along the way how to, I guess, finally balance the competitive John Cook and then also the guy who needs to just enjoy the experience of being here?
I don't know. I need to meet with my psychiatrist and figure that out. I don't know. It never gets old, I can tell you that. And I appreciate all you guys coming to our press conference, and it's a big deal in Nebraska. I mean, I get the texts I get and the emails I get. I mean, people are in tears. They're writing me these emails and they're crying as we won and got to this Final Four. I mean, it's a big deal there. So that's what makes it really cool, and I never take that for granted. And it's what makes it really, really special coaching at Nebraska, and these guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, we'll go middle right.
Lauren, going back to the Texas match, leading up to that, what did Coach Cook do to make you guys believe that you could win that match and instill confidence in you that you guys could beat Texas last week?
I think that came from us. He always believes in us for sure, but I think if any of the previous games that we've struggled in, it's been because we didn't believe in our own selves, and it's not that we're any less talented than anyone we play. It just comes from within, and it's hard to put it into words. It was just like a feeling that we knew we were the better team. We might have been outmatched talent-wise, maybe just a little bit. They've got some big physical hitters, and experienced hitters at that. But we definitely play with a lot more heart, and we love what we do, and we just knew going into that something we were going to win. We didn't know how, but we were going to find a way, and we were going to do it together. And I think that belief carried us through, and I think that will carry us through moving forward.
Okay, we'll pause here and check with our media on Zoom.
Thank you, Dan. I don't see any hands up right now, but I'll go ahead and wait a few seconds. If there are any questions from those of you that have joined us on Zoom, please go ahead and use the raise hand function and we can get your question asked.
Okay, any other questions here in the room? Okay.
Maddie, going back to Texas, the Texas match, what was it like, I guess? I mean, it was a late match, but what was it like Saturday night to see the reaction from fans, and the last couple of days, maybe what's one of the best compliments you saw, or one of the best things you heard, the reaction to that and getting to the Final Four?
Yeah, I think the Texas gym is obviously a very challenging arena to play in. It's very loud with the wood court. Obviously, everything echoes as well. So there were times when you literally couldn't hear yourself think or hear the person next to you. So we just kept working through that, and we have experience obviously playing in loud gyms with playing in Devaney, but yeah, it was really exciting. I think there's a lot of photographs that were taken at the end of that match with all of our families standing up and just like cheering, and they all had their signs and like glitter poppers, and so that was really cool to see, especially with us like cheering on the court and then them cheering behind us as well. So that was really cool to see.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you all.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.